Alright, you guys, welcome to Cosplays. This is Cos, and I'm kind of making a little bit of noise here setting up my mic and desk. But this is Sprocket. It's a new tank design game, and today I spent the last 3 days maybe creating a World of Tanks version of a fully upgraded Charioteer. British design tank. It's based off the Cromwell chassis with a gun to hold a 105mm weapon, you know, in a different turret than what the Cromwell usually had, which I believe was maybe a 75mm gun or 77, you know, maybe 77mm. They may have used the 77mm in the Cromwells like they did the Churchills, but I'm pretty sure that the standard issue was the 75mm. According to World of Tanks, they gave the Cromwell a few different kind of guns, including a little derp, which is really fun. But anyway, so let's load the sandbox. Let me show you my tank. So I turned on World of Tanks and I loaded that tank up, and I just happened to be playing it and got inspired to build it, so I did. And I used the pictures from World of Tanks in the garage to actually build this tank as best as I could. Not all the things that the Cromwell or a, you know, what do you call it, a Charioteer has, you know, curves and stuff I was able to get in this gun, such as the mantlet. Wasn't able to get the right mantlet, and obviously the gun sight, so I had to use the in-game gun sight here, and the, you know, this gun mantlet. But I made the gun mantlet 200mm so they couldn't get in there, you know. But what do you guys think? I had a hard time finding the loops to cover the headlights. I had to use tow hooks and I had to resize them because, you know, the tow hooks are real small. See them over here? Yeah, right here. So I had to make them bigger so they end up like that, but they do cover the lights. And got all the cabling that they had in the front of it. Now the one thing that the Charioteer had that this game doesn't is it didn't have a cupola. It just had a series of vision ports facing in different directions with a crew hatch right here. You know, like there was two crew hatches side by side, and then there's a series of vision ports all the way around it in order to look. But I can't play the game or use the tank without a cupola according to the rules of Sprocket, so I had to put this in. So I put that in there, so there's the difference right there. This should be a square port with a bunch of these viewports going around. So I did the best I could with the viewport situation. You know, I was trying to set these up so they didn't get in the way, and after a while I said, let's forget it. Let's just get him in there. Same with down here. The driver has his own viewports as such. I think he was more in the middle. But on this design, I put the driver over here because he was getting in the way of the gunner, and everybody was in a line, you know, and everybody was in, so by moving him over here, I got a higher percentage of effectiveness. But technically, I think he was here. So then there's a crew hatch here for him. These are the viewports. This is a vent, air vent, that kind of thing. I would assume, considering that it was, I only find them on tanks near where the crew is, right? And so there's one there too. So then the Charioteer has a bunch of series of antennas on it, and it has a giant light. The game only offers one light, this light, so I had to make it real big. But you know, so, and then I put some spaced armor on it here. Now if you look at the Charioteer real closely, you're going to see that this edge actually comes out and goes down on a, I don't know if it's straight up and down or not, but there's a space in there, you know. So this technically would be filled across the top too, to make the square look that it has. So I stuck them in there just because the tank does actually have spaced armor along the edge. It's just very hard to see, but so I did that in order to make it more like itself, you know, like it. And then these was hard. This was hard. They have these like angles that come down and go back up again, and a weird rear fender in the rear that kind of comes down, but there's no rear fender in this game, so I just had to use some metal plates to put them there. The engine was really super tricky to get this to stick off the back the way it does now. As I shoved it off the back, it went on an angle, but what I did was I left the back straight up and down, and I put all the stuff on the top of it, and then I pulled it, you know, because there's like a upper, there's a top, and then there's an upper, a mid, and a lower part of the plate. So what I did was the mid part of the plate I made flat and put all this stuff on it, and then I angled it and went with the stuff on it. So when I angled it, it stuffed everything out the back. Even the exhaust started sticking out, you know, beyond the plate, and I got that Cromwell look, I suppose. Now this is dipping down a little bit. I know the Cromwell and the Churchill had like a Cromwell had a wing on it. The Charioteer did not. And then I also added fuel tanks just because it was fun. And then you know, I added the hatches for the engine compartment and stuff in the back, and the fuel, you know, fuel inlet and radiator and things like that. And they only have one light on the back like this. I mean, there was a couple little lights, real small ones on either end, but I didn't put those in. The exhaust does come out the sides like that. I got a little fancy, put some underneath just for fun. You see them sticking out there. This is the one I'm driving in. This looks cool. I got the tracks pretty dang close to size and road wheels and spacing. The road wheel in the rear of the Charioteer is really close to this road wheel, but I really couldn't get it that too close without this whole thing sliding around, you know, making it, you know, bring this wheel in, brought everything in, you know, and forward, and it was a little, and if I made it exactly the way they wanted it, I would have too many road wheels down here. So I just kind of left it like that. I just made sure that the space here was shorter than the space here. Now this technically is actually down lower. The track doesn't go up and drop, you know, but I use that to cover it. I don't know if you can tell. But like I said, I did as best I could, guys. I had to put it up there because I couldn't cross anything. It was ramming straight into stuff and losing all my speed. So I put the V12 engine in it, roughly the size and horsepower that was in the tank at the time, according to World of Tanks. You know, it's a V12. It puts out at 3,100 RPM. Ooh, that's the idle. I don't want to do that. Where's this out here? At 3,100 RPM. It's putting out about 1,000 horsepower, which is probably 400 more than it actually did. But in reality, the thing probably put out more like something like 650 horsepower, 680 horsepower. So, but in this game, and the tank also weighed a lot less. I put some armor on it and stuff, and it got pretty heavy pretty quick. I'm putting all this stuff on the sides of it and made it heavy, you know. Now the turret, I made the turret you know, the way it's designed, you know, with the octagon shape, boom, and then it comes here and goes across. But there's stowage boxes on one side and a road wheel, extra road wheel on the other side here. We can't do that in this game, and I like to keep things symmetrical, so I put two different kind of stowage boxes on here. Then I use metal plates. You know, these metal plates here on the side, you know, these metal plates, use some here too. They're riveted plates. I used them and oversized them so that they would overlap and kind of, you know, fill in the back like it did, but it really isn't anything. I don't even think these even have any armor value, to be honest with you, but it looks cool. And then they had fake pieces of track, you know, they had spare track here and here on the back, but I wasn't able to do that, so I stuck them up there just because the size of them was so big, and you can't adjust the sizes of them. The size of the spare track is completely relevant to the actual track that you use. So in order for me to get this in here, I'd have to make the track link smaller, you know, and thinner. So I didn't want to do that either. So because this thing works pretty good. So let's drive it and see how she goes. I changed the buttons on that because the space bar was getting annoying. I made it my backspace button. That way I don't accidentally hit it. So it's got a pretty good turret. It's got a 105 millimeter gun, just like it did. The length is not right, but I also don't have the smoke ejector in the center of the barrel either, like they had. But the traverse is about correct. And as you can see, the gun sight still needs some work. See, I'm looking out the gun sight, but I can see on the left or right, outside the left or right edge of the gun sight. See, I can show you what I'm talking about. See the gun sight there above the gun? I'm actually looking out the side of the angle area of that gun sight. So I don't know if the developer watches my videos or not, but if he does, the gun sight still needs work. See it? So, but it works, it works. Now the other thing that's happening is that when I'm getting shot, he said he fixed the gun sight getting pressed into the into the turret as it gets hit. He said he fixed that, but he didn't. He didn't. This thing gets pounded all the way back into the back of the turret if I let it. So it's still moving. With him, every time it gets impacted, it's still it's still a problem. Now this thing does not have good. I haven't really fixed the tranny yet to really climb hills, so it does go, but it really is working hard to get it done. Oh, that's the edge of the map. Let's see if I can get up here. I've never actually tried to climb up here. This is pretty steep for any, heavier tanks anyways. It might make it. I get some speed going, it'll do it. Nope. Nope. Okay. Let's hope I don't get stuck. Yeah, it's not very good in the sand. That's for sure. No tank really is though. This is like, the sand terrain is pretty tough on tanks, especially turning, because it, technically the road resistance is so high it digs in. Now let's just keep on rolling. I'm getting up this hill. He pretty much made a path that determines where to go to get up here. Well, this thing isn't as effective as some of my tanks. Like I said, I'm still working on it. Like when you're trying to make a tank look like an existing tank, it ends up being, harder to work with and stuff like that. So, anyways, yeah, I'm getting this thing up this hill. And we'll test the top speed. The gun's not terrible either. Pretty accurate. I'm not. I missed that shot. But it reloads pretty quick. Let's see if we can get a shot on one of those before we get out of range. There's one. I see one. Alright, and then the top speed of this thing is about 47 kilometers. In the game it does like 65 or something like that, but that's not realistic. And even if you were to go that fast in a tank like this, the crew would be killed, just wrecked inside this tank. But anyway, so people don't respect me making videos around here. They just walk around, you hear the laundry going there, just making as much noise as he possibly can while I record. But anyway, so that's my roommate, being a dick like usual. But yeah, this thing's actually not bad on the terrain. Some of this terrain's really tricky to use. So, but here, let's go up against the other Cromwell. Let's see if I can kill it. I'll let it beat on me a little bit. But wasn't really going for armor. I mean, I put the armor on here like they wanted, and I just got one shot by every single tank in the game. So I upped the armor in it, and that's why it's heavier. I actually made a Charioteer that's effective, but again, it was supposed to be a TD, so yeah, maybe I should have called this the Cromwell and changed the hull, but I didn't. So there's the enemy. Oh, there's no clue I'm here. Let's wake him up. Oh, now he's awake. Let's just see what kind of damage he does to me. It's gonna be hard to see where he hits me sometimes. It makes a little bulge. Always hit me in the gun sight, isn't he? Can't tell. Armor's pretty good on this. Like I said, I increased it. Let's just take him out. Oh, he's gone. He's gonna roll dead down the hill. Oh, his gun's still active, isn't it? No, I think he's dead. There. Now he's dead. Alright, you guys. So this is the British-inspired Charioteer. Let's run it over the concrete there so you can see the Christine suspension working. I think that's what they called it. Christine suspension. I watch a lot of tank chats. World of Tanks. See, they went right over that like nothing. I would have got stuck on the other one. He needs speed. It's not long enough to just creep over the other one, the big trench, but with some speed you go right over it anyways. But yeah, so the thing's creeping over these big ones. It's not the fastest thing in the world. But then again, the Charioteer wasn't really meant to be fast. So now I can make a Cromwell variant of this, and you know, lighten the armor up almost half, you know, especially in the front. And this thing does do about, when I had it with the stock armor numbers, it was doing about 53 kilometers. So I put double the armor on it. It only lost 3 or 4 kilometers per hour. It's only doing, it does 47. You know, it's still not bad for a tank that can take a beating from. Well, we'll see. Can we take a Tiger? I fixed the Panther. I'm going to show you the Panther, their version. I shall probably die right away. And watch this turret turn and stuff. And then I'm going to show you the Panther, my version, but he can't even traverse me. Oh, he's trying. Oh, he's going to get it. Slow you down. Yeah, see, not so good. And he's dead. Alright, now let's bring in the Panther, my version. Same thing, only better. He's just as deadly, or deadlier. He's faster now. He's gonna ram me, isn't he? Oh, he killed me. But look at his turret. His turret's moving good. I don't know how the hell that killed my crew. Our crew must be Humpty Dumpties. I think we got Humpty Dumpties for crew. You know, I think I was only going 15 or 20 kilometers an hour. Now they say, I'm American, so a 40-mile-an-hour impact, whatever that is in kilometers, will kill you. A 35-mile-an-hour impact won't. So I'm pretty sure I wasn't going fast enough to be killed, but I am. But anyway, so that's my tank, and there's my rework of the Panther. And all I did was just bring the numbers to correct. You know, the engine power correct, the transmission ratios correct. I gave it a powered, turret traverse, so it was actually fun to play. But yeah. So that's my video, guys. There's your Charioteer with a slight touch of cost. I think it just had some kind of lag spike there. That was weird. Anyways, that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and give me a comments on what you think about my Charioteer, and you know, did I get it close? You know, check it out. Give me some criticism. Tell me what to change, because I'd like to see something like this actually in this game. You know, as a permanent addition. You know, same with that Panther there. You know, I want to start making tanks that exist, even though you guys are probably criticizing me for how off they are here and there or whatever. But you know, we got to start somewhere, right? We want this game to be successful and have fun with the multiplayer thing. Well, we got to start making tanks that are feasible to use. So here's a couple right here, right now. And plus my UDES from the other video. I think these are all would be really fun tanks to use as a regular addition to the game. But anyway, so this is what I got. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Koss is out.